Boss Hog Jerome here today in BleepinJeep Garage. We're going to talk about scribing metal, tips and tricks on how to make your own little brackets and make them more accurately. Alright, so some of you may find this useful, and then some of you are going to say, why do I need to even be that precise? I don't know. We've built all kinds of different things. Sometimes things need to be real precise. Maybe you're making a box for your mother and you just want it to be perfect. Who knows why you need to be this precise? But we're going to talk about the differences between Sharpies and Scribes hopefully here. So say you got your square, you got it set up, you're going to do that, and you take the biggest honking Sharpie thing ever and you make your line. Well, that may be fine. And your cutoff wheel, for the most part, is about that width. So that's not too bad there. But say you're going to take a jigsaw or a scroll saw and make something out of something really small like this, like some of you seen the scorpion on the back of Scorpion Crawler. If you're going to make something detailed like that, well, maybe you want to use a scribe. Who knows? But you can use a pencil. Well, that's going to work just marginally because it's going to wipe right off. So that's not going to work so good. Take a brand new Sharpie like this one. That's about your best bet for the average person here. Take your line and lightly push down. That isn't bad. That's not a bad line. So, but if you take you a nice scribe, which this is all we have for a scribe at the moment because, you know, can't find the actual scribe. We're going to use this little guy and make the mark. Scratch it once or twice like that. And you're going to have a line that doesn't go anywhere. It's going to hang in there and be super true and super straight no matter what you do. You can wipe that off or anything like that. Cut that right down through there. It'll be super accurate. The one thing I do whenever I am messing with this, I don't actually cut close to the line. I cut just off of it, and then I take a flap wheel and I'll cut right down to it whenever I'm doing something super precise when I want to build something. Say you're building a radio box for your radio on the cab of your rig or something. Who knows what you're doing? But you do that, works out pretty good. Another little tip right here, you've got your dial indicator, something like that. Say you want to make a 2-inch mark and you want it to be exactly on 2 inches. So you pull it down here right on 2 inches, like so, dial it in, lock it down. And providing your metal's nice and square, these little guys right here are really sharp and work really good. You take it, put it right there. I don't know if you can see my hands here. Take this, push down, scribe right back all the way across. And you see that nice little scribe mark right there. Works great for making consistent 2-inch, 2 3/4, whatever you think you want to make. It's real easy because once you cut this right here, if you're really good or whatever, however you want to do it, whether you're using a brake or a jigsaw, scroll saw, I don't know what all you could cut that fine with, but everybody has different ones. Matt says he can cut that fine with a plasma cutter. I don't know. But you take that, scribe it across. You can change it up to any dimension you want or whatever. Say you want to do a 1-inch and a 2-inch. Who knows? Maybe you're doing something really neat. Like that right there. Now, if you did that with probably a $300 machinist tool, they'd probably shoot you. But most of these are about 30 bucks. That's what we do that with. All right, and then finally, we have transfer punches. So I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen these. I know it was a long time before I ever saw my first one, but they're really, really neat. They come in totally different sizes. I have a set that goes from really small all the way up to 1 inch, and this particular set right here goes up to half. It starts out at 3/32 and goes all the way up to, I guess I said half, but 17/32. So that would be just over half, right? I don't use them very often, but every now and again I do. So what they're designed for, say you want to make a plate that fits this yoke or anything. Maybe you're spacing your power steering bracket out because you changed your pulley or doing whatever. Who knows? So you want to make a bracket that matches a certain set of holes. So you got your piece of steel, you trace it out, however you're going to do it, but you have a traditional punch. A lot of times, these bracket holes are so deep, this guy won't even fit in there, and you can't even get it to fit down and even touch the metal, for one. And for two, who knows how accurate it's going to be when it wobbles around like that. So when you're hammering on it, your hole could be here and here and here. So what a transfer punch is good for is, depending on what size you have, you take this little guy right here, you put it in your hole, and you hammer that and hammer this. Now obviously if you were making this on here, it'd probably be best if you clamp this down to there and then took your time and punched it. And when you get done, you're going to have a perfect little dimple that matches all 4 of these holes, so you can cut out whatever you want and make your perfect bracket. And this right here is like a piece of 1/4 inch. So say we were spacing it out a 1/4 inch or making a bracket out of 1/4 inch, this would be just perfect when we got done. And you could trust your holes would be dead on and line up nice with a set of transfer punches. See how precise that fits the hole? That'll line it up just perfect right where you need it to be. If you did that on all 4, it would be perfect. As opposed to this right here, if you stuck this in there, and that's going to wobble around and be in any different direction. And yeah, you could over drill your hole just a little bit and you'd probably get away with it. But the transfer punches are not very expensive and just a neat little tool to have in your box for doing a little fabricating.